It's really interesting. Wait, should I start now or
No,
what?
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. You're
Yeah,
live.
okay. So it's basically a very interesting hyper offense matchup between the two sides. Aragon showing up with Chen-Pao Dragonite Chen-Pao Dragonite, while Arctic Blast is packing heat like Palafin Rain. Oh, Palafin Basculegion Pelipper Rain, in fact, Water Spam being the name of the game for Arctic Blast. Both sides featuring Tornadus T on their teams to put up the pressure, basically.
Have
This will be an interesting dynamic how extreme speed will interact with Palafin and Basculegion since one is a ghost type and one only has a +1 priority move in its arsenal.
yeah, I have a feeling this is going to be a very quick game to start us off.
Aragon also has the Cleavor. Stealth Rocks could be useful. In fact, it's been led while Tinglu is led by Arctic Blast to supposedly counter, well, it doesn't necessarily counter, but it's a really bulky thing that they can send in front of the Cleavor. Fluttermane's led, but it's
Yeah, I would
switched out
expect
for
the hands
Tornadus.
here to have both coverage for the Stone Axe.
Yeah. Stealth Rock set by Arctic Blast. This will be really annoying for Aragon's four rock weak Pokemon, though Tornadus is already on the field. Dragonite, Chiyu, and Qianpao will not appreciate that, especially Qianpao since it often has Focus at. Meanwhile, Cleavor does also set rocks. Less impactful for Arctic Blast. Cleavor X-scissors the Tinglu, but Iron Hands wild charges the Tornadus as it sets Tailwind to its death. That's one up for Arctic Blast, but Aragon has the Tailwind advantage. Plus,
Eric,
a Flutter Mane was sent on the field against two very weak Pokemon.
Aragon's gonna have to try to go pretty quickly here because he's lost. I mean, it depends if his Cleaver has like Tailwind as well as a backup, but he's probably gonna have to go pretty quickly here and put as
What?
much pressure on as possible.
This Cleaver get Tailwind?
Yeah, it does.
What? What? I mean, I guess, but like
Yeah.
I don't think it has it. It looks AV to me, or
No,
at least it
it's
should.
probably AV, but
Yeah. Iron Hands takes the Dazzling Gleam. X-Scissor does not kill. Wild Charge takes down the Flutter Mane. This Iron Hands went overtime against Aragon's team. And now Aragon only has their three Stealth Rock weak Pokemon left against Arctic Blast's two strong water types. Arctic Blast probably interested in setting out Tornadus right now. Yes, they do. Jet Punch probably coming into Cleavor's way, possibly since Jet Punch shouldn't have lethal on Shenpao unless Rain is up. I don't think. Let me calc that. If only if it's CB2. Sucker Punch on Shenpao.
oh, just
Yeah,
barely
does
misses,
not die.
and he
Stone
misses the
Axe
Stone
dodge.
Axe. Damn.
That's very fortunate for Arctic Blast, unfortunate for Aragon numbers. The Terra Water committed by Aragon, while at the same time, Arctic does still have Terra available. One wonders if this was Terra Water on the Palafin, it could have made a difference right there. But it's possible that it was being saved
And there
for the
goes
Basque
any
Legion.
Tailwind option he might have had with the Cleaver. I'll have to find out if it was AV or not. Probably was.
Does AV die from Bleakwind at
That's a good
52?
question.
That will probably answer our question. Extreme speed on the Pelipper, it does not die. Her Bleakwind Storm deals massive damage to the Dragonite. Chien-Pao drops, and Pelipper just cleans up. the rest.
And so
And
ends our
that's
first
game
game.
for Arctic Blast, yeah. The Iron Hand's turns basically sealing the game for Arctic Blast, giving him the Pokemon advantage that he needed to close out this hyper offense matchup. That was a pretty fun game, I'd say.
It was very
The
fast paced.
interesting Ting pick from Arctic Blast is using it as a rock. It actually looks it looked really good here, at least for matching Misdreavus. I mean Fluttermane. I just called it Misdreavus. Yeah,
Misdreavus.
for matching Fluttermane and Chi and setting rocks on their face, while the rest of Aragon's guys were really weak to rocks. So it basically, Tinglu basically killed an entire Pokemon if we add up all the damage,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah, it's pretty good slot for that team actually.
Yeah, I might have to try something like that out since I haven't built anything yet.
We're in game two, and we're gonna see a rather interesting
What the
team from
hell is
Arctic.
this?
A little bit
What the
less
hell is this
standard.
from Arctic Blast? Iron Bundle, it hasn't been seeing use as of late, and probably for good reason. However, it has a really strong matchup right now into this lead by Aragon numbers, as does the Iron Leaves, who threatens Palafin with a Leaf Blade, and this Mew, which
It
was
does
also on the field for
threaten
some
like
reason.
a decent number of things on this team, so I guess it's not like terrible, I guess.
Yeah,
Um, Aragon likes Palafin a lot, so maybe it's not like the worst pick in the world.
I suppose. This Mudo is interesting. It lost a lot of stuff, which I cannot name as of now since there's too many of them, but it's kind of spooky. At least if I'd be kind of scared if I was Arctic Blast. It could really do any number of annoying things.
I won't
In
say what the set
fact,
probably is, but Arctic should know what the set is. I'll say that.
I guess there is something I don't know, basically. Iron Leaves and Iron Bundle are not threatening this Mew at
Oh, and
all.
Arctic is gonna go for the Terra
Hydro
Grass
Pump
instantly.
misses. That's annoying as
Oh,
well.
that's really
That
unfortunate.
does that die? It probably dies, right?
Oh,
That's annoying. Hydro Pump probably does like 40. I'd like to say
yeah, probably just
30.
about.
Yeah, and Leaf Blade would have killed it on the follow-up attack. So that is annoying since Mew gets to live and Iron Leaves is burned, and that's not good for business.
Fair for Arctic, he says.
Fair IG. Did Arctic even get any meaningful hack last game? I actually don't recall.
Oh, see, it says 34, so the hydro pump. So maybe it didn't matter a ton. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
68 plus 34,
34.
no,
Yeah.
that definitely would have killed.
Rillaboom coming in to boost Iron Leaves' Leaf Blade damage. Does 29 to the Rillaboom. Not a lot, but perhaps not insignificant considering there's still an Iron Bundle on Arctic Blast's field. Elects to U-turn on the Iron Leaves.
Does
Iron
a
Leaves
huge amount of
already committed
damage.
Terra. It's no longer Grass Psychic, so it doesn't die to the U-turn. Leaf Blade on Palafin does 70%. That's a lot of damage.
That's shocking, actually, to me, how much that
Seems
does.
more or less correct. Iron Leaves actually does have a really high attack stat. I think around the range of 130, 135, something like that. Yeah, I just checked. It's 130 base attack.
Hmm.
That's a really high attack stat.
It is indeed.
This Iron Bundle is has surprisingly stayed a long time considering Aragon also has Tailwind up. It hasn't felt compelled to switch out, let's just say. And it probably isn't compelled to switch out still considering Landers and Palafin shouldn't have lethal on it. Maybe if Landorus commits a superpower on it, which Arctic Blast should try to respect. We'll see what Arctic Blast elects to do here. Arctic Blast does have a somewhat safe Zapdos switch in onto the Iron Bundle since Palafin obviously will not be wave crashing that slot. Instead, elects to stay in,
He flips the
using the
defensive.
Intimidate to let Iron Bundle stay in. Terra Fire on the Palafin. And this went really rather well for Arctic Blast. This Iron Bundle has stayed in for a long time, really. Fluttermane sent in. It's fast. It's currently faster than Iron Bundle, at least for one more turn. At the same time, it threatens the Tauros, who is fighting weak, of course. Dazzling Gleam, it lives. What does this Tauros elect to do? Raging Bull on the Fluttermane. It lives. Yeah, it lives. Yeah. Stays up to 28% HP. Palafin probably threatening to Aqua Jet or Jet Punch the Tauros. I believe it dies.
Yeah, it's probably in range pretty easily.
It could be not. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, there is a world where this lives. I think it depends on
Perhaps I'm
how bulky
overestimating.
the Raging Bull is, or the Tauros rather. But Iron Bundle is in a somewhat dominant position. It has to get a call right on Palafin. If it like Hydro Pumps and a Protect from Palafin and Fluttermane trades it, it's not looking good. I'd say. What I'd probably do is just freeze dry the Fluttermane and Raging Bull the Palafin since it's fire type and Raging Bull is water type. As a water type move, it should do a lot of damage still, even with a +1 defense on Palafin.
You might want to be careful of the turn order though, because if you
I
just
mean,
get
yeah.
wave crashed by the by the Palafin or something like that, or drain
I
punched.
mean, it's still if Palafin wave crashes the Tauros, it should still be fine. At least all that basically means is Iron Bundle stays alive on the field for one more turn.
Misses yet
Iron
another
Leaves sent out,
hydro
yeah.
pump.
Aragon says, damn it, probably sacking the Mew, but instead, Iron Bundle is missing all of its moves. That's the second Hydro that missed so far in this game. That's really annoying, I'd say, which is why I don't like using Iron Bundle actually. Hydro Pump is such a sussy move. Hydro Pump actually connects now. Like, thank God. 24% on the Mew. This Iron leaves. Well, it was -1 and burned, to be fair. So that's actually still respectable.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
What item is this? It's just been using Leaf Blade the entire time.
I have absolutely no idea.
This Iron Bundle is still faster than Aragon's Pokemon, even while even while they have Tailwind up. The Proto Speed Iron Bundle is not a correct Pokemon. Let's just say it's a Pokemon for terrorists. And though Aragon does now have Fluttermane and Shiyu on the field, the dynamic duo, it's probably gonna Dazzle and Heatwave and collect both of Arctic Blast's Pokemon right now, and it's not looking good.
Bundle stocks are rising considerably in this match.
62%. That's not correct. That's absolutely not correct. Dazzle probably kills this bundle right now. Tauros Paldea Aqua sent in, probably as a sack. We will most likely see the Iron Leaves sent in on Iron Bundle's place as a sack, considering it's not really going to do anything anymore. Yup, we
Oh, and he
do see
pulls the
that.
bundle.
It's Grassy Seed Chi. That's interesting. Elects not to kill the Tauros who just revealed Aquajet. That's what ramifications will that have for this game? The Iron Bundle sent in. It's This is a weird situation. Rillaboom, basically Iron Bundle. Hmm. I actually don't know if Freeze Dry even kills this Rillaboom. Which, if it doesn't, it's really bad for Arctic Blast, basically. Though the ruin ability from Chiyu will probably help. It's faster. The Tauros is faster than Chiyu. That's really clutch for Arctic Blast. It's a
Yeah,
speed
that's very
tie
big
between the
damage.
Chiyu and the Tauros, both base 100 speed. And this Iron Bundle is now in a really dominant position,
That would be interesting if it was a
provided,
speed
yeah,
tie.
provided it
I
hits.
guess that would mean both Palafin and Tauros and Chi are all max speed.
Yeah. Arctic Blast, probably calculating the amount of damage Freeze Dry will do on Aragon's Chi-Yu just to be sure, though it probably will kill. Meanwhile, Chi-Yu most likely to Heat Wave or Flamethrower if it has it onto the Rillaboom to kill. Yup, Palafin switches into place of Rillaboom. Elects to freeze dry the Palafin. Or the Rillaboom, rather. That's interesting. Risking the tie between the two Chi-Yus. I'm not sure I necessarily agree with that. Probably has a read on on Aragon's Chi-Yu speed.
I highly
Assuming
suspect
it's
this is not max speed Chi.
I mean it could very well much it may very well be not be max speed, but at the same time, I don't really risk that personally. That's such a sussy maneuver because Iron Bundle could die and it basically could lose the game. Surprisingly, does not elect to send in the Indeedee. Well, actually, Aragon can match the Indeedee switch by switching in Rillaboom on Chiyu's place. Since Iron Bundle is faster than the Chiyu, Indeedee would go first, activating Psychic Surge. Then, when Chiyu switches to Rillaboom, that switch goes second, which would then activate Grassy Terrain, and Chiyu would not be protected from priority moves then. So Palafin could kill. Instead, chooses to
Oh,
switch another way. Hydro Pump misses. This
tragic
Pokemon
Hydro
blows.
Miss.
This Pokemon blows. I hate Iron Bundle so fucking much. Oh my god, this is why I use Garganacl. That Pokemon has accurate attacks. Chiyu. Can Chiyu do it? It technically can, I think. Considering Heat Wave should be faster than. Well, Heat Wave should kill the Chiyu, I think. Or I mean, Aragon's Chiyu should die to Arctic Blast's Chiyu's Heat Wave. Palafin also probably dies. It could stall out for a little bit with Protects and with Protects and Grassy Terrain from the
Just,
Rillaboom, so it could live.
just depends what the moves are on the NDD, probably.
Yeah. In fact, Arctic Blast's one problem in this position is that Heat Wave is not a 100% accurate move. And considering how much of a bastard the Iron Bundle was, I don't think Arctic Blast is trusting Heatwave that much. That probably is a throw the Dark Pulse. I think Arctic Blast needed the Heatwave there. And I don't know, hope to crit the Palafin or something. I think that was the only out because I maybe well, Chi Yu could technically still win on its own right here.
It could. It could definitely could.
but it has twin ties, and assuming that the Aragon's Chiyu is not max speed, it technically does still have a dominant position in this on the field right now. Yeah, so maybe sacking the Ndidi is not a criminal move. Let's just say
Oh, but a
nasty
nasty
plot.
plot.
Does that matter? Like, come on, man. I don't think it does. Well, the only thing that matters here is does Aragon's Chiyu now live the heat wave from Arcticblast's Chiyu thanks to that grassy terrain healing? Protects,
Oh, but he sets up the
substitutes.
substitute.
Does that matter?
Oh. Ah, no, it's probably over, unfortunately.
It's is Flutter's is Aragon's Flutter like Specs? Because Specs Moonblast could. I saw skip to end.
Oh,
That did
just barely
that
misses
did
it.
that did nothing. I mean, yeah, Chiyu is really bulky in the Chiyu versus Chiyu matchup,
Hmm.
especially since it's unaffected by Beads of Ruin. So I guess that's to be expected.
Now we have a game three.
Oh,
Not
damn,
instantly, but
damn. This Chiyu probably lived the entire time actually in the Chiyu versus in that whole Chiyu versus Chiyu sequence. So I guess Aragon probably secured that game. I don't know, man. What a terrorist of a Pokemon Iron Bundle is.
it's either the
Like,
goat or the woat.
yeah, it's often the word. I don't trust Pokemon that
No.
can miss when it matters the most. Like, come on, man.
And we have a game three with Arctic running it back with his game one team. Old
Yeah, it's
reliable.
a run. When in doubt, run back to fish, as Arcticblast says in the chat.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Aragon numbers pulling up with the Enamorous, the turtle, which will probably get obliterated by the Basculegion when it's all said and done. Because, come on, it's Basculegion. That's not a fair Pokemon.
It is definitely not. I have been campaigning for his ban for quite a while now.
I think it's tier 3 if we're gonna be honest, but like, I'm a
Yeah.
terrorist, so. Hmm. Landorus Eye on this matchup is probably gonna be muy terrible because Arctoplas has many water types and a Tinglu, which is really annoying for it, let's just say. Water types that pack a speed advantage against, in fact. Cleavor surprisingly not led. That Pokemon should always be led. That let's just be real. Not leading it is a mistake. It's
Hmm.
really bad on tempo. Calm Mind turn one by the Enamorous. We will see how this unfolds
If he
shortly
can just
for
set it up
Aragon.
and run
Yeah.
away with the game.
Yeah. I don't think it will, honestly. This Iron
Probably
Hands could
not.
very well be
No.
a
And it is
yeah,
Tailwind, so.
yeah. Ting Lu elects to chop the throat of Cleavor for 43% of damage. +1/+1 Enamorous right now on the field in a somewhat threatening position, let's just say. I don't know if it's actually threatening. I don't know its damage. I'm not a believer, but it could very well prove me wrong. Does Enamorous even get any recovery moves?
Ooh.
Ooh, Terra Poison. X's are doing 1,000,000%
There
damage
goes
on
the
the
Tinglu.
Tinglu. Draining Kiss,
Big
that
Drain
is the
Kiss.
recovery move we've been searching for. Why did that Wild Charge deal 52% on Enamorous?
Iron
That's not
Hands is
fair.
crazy. Broken
That's not.
Pokemon.
That's very illegal damage. What the fuck was that? And Arctic Blast is probably sending one of Basculegion and Palafin. No, he does not actually. Elects to send in Tornadus, probably setting Tailwind to give Iron Hands the speed advantage versus Enamorous. However, probably at the cost of getting stone axed by the Cleaver. In turn, Arctic Blast could do something about that and hit Cleavor with Iron Hands since Enamorous shouldn't really threaten anything onto the Iron Hands since it's Terra poisoned and Enamorous is using a Training Kiss. It should really do nothing to it, but who would know? Both sides thinking out their turn. I'm not sure about this Tornadus, to be honest. I would have sent in Palafin and just went hamburger against Aragon's team.
Yeah, that seemed like a good play.
But how? What would I know? I don't know these sets from Arctic Blast's team. What was the Palafin set? I already forgot. Rillaboom
Um,
sent onto the side of Aragon gets the +1 defense. It's Grassy Seed. That's
that's pretty
very
cool.
relevant. However, however, Iron Hands is still a fighting type, and Enamorous did just Terra Steel. How will this unfold? Rillaboom has fake out advantage onto the Iron Hands. Arctic Blast goes to Pelipper and on the place of Tornadus.
He
Drain
goes
gets
all the
Draining
way up.
Kists to 34%. It's not eject button, which is really, really poopy. Pelipper those threatening to Tailwind or Hurricane right now if it's faster than the Rillaboom. This turn would depend on which between Pelipper and Rillaboom is faster. Rillaboom is indeed faster, but it does not elect to do anything to the Pelipper. What will now happen on this turn? Elects to go Cresselia, probably setting Trick Room on the face of Arctic Blast's Tailwind. However, this Enamorous does not have Protect anymore, or at least a reliable one, since it just used it this turn. However, there is an ally switch still possible, which is why I hate this move. Trick Room isn't necessarily bad for Arctic Blast to even,
Oh, it's pretty
considering
good.
he has a Palafin who can just Jet Punch stuff. And Aragon also has a bunch of water weak Pokemon such as Cleavor and Landorus Eye. And the Poison Iron Hands is also really threatening.
Oh, and that
Close
just takes a
combats
ton.
takes down the Enamorous.
Yeah, okay.
Aragon doing nothing about it.
Trick Room's up
And
now.
right
Questionable
now,
spot.
yeah, Arctic Blast's Iron Hands, Terra Poison Iron Hands, is in a really, really dominant position right now, considering it's basically as let's go it like this. Rillaboom is the only threat for Arctic Blasts to water type attackers. However, it should lose to the Iron Hands since it's poison and its Iron Hands should be slower than Rillaboom and Trick Room, though granted, Arctic Blast does have Tailwind up right now. If I was Arctic Blast, I just go onto the Tornadus on in the place of Iron Hands to not get Jet Punched. However, our hero does not elect to do that. Wild charges the Palafin for 58% damage. No
Oh, and it gets
oh yeah,
confused.
confused too.
Oh, that's
Also, the Iron
brutal.
Hands took no recoil. That's crazy. This Palafin probably in the range of Jet Punch from the Palafin of Arctic Blast right now.
Yeah. I just don't see the way Aragon really deals with Basculegion here anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe not from the beginning, really.
Hmm. Arctic Blast could probably send in their Palafin in the place of Iron Hands right now because the Iron Hands is -1 defense against that. Why the hell did Arctic Blast sack that? That's it's a terrorist maneuver. I'm not sure I agree with that. I would have sent in Palafin personally, because like even though it's Rainbow, the Palafin has, I mean, Aragon's Palafin has +1 attack. and is boosted by rain. The Jet Punch is still doing nothing, at least probably, onto Arctic Blast's Palafin. And keeping Iron Hands alive seems more to the interest of Arctic Blast right now, since Aragon does still have the Rillaboom. It's just nice to have as insurance. This will probably have ramifications for Arctic Blast's game. Also, interesting to note, Lunar Blessing did not heal Confusion.
Nah, it's only non-volatile.
Yeah. Yeah. Rillaboom, now a certified terrorist. Both sides, both sides do not have Terra available. So this Rillaboom is guaranteed to hit a water type Pokemon right now. How will this unfold? Cresselia still has Ally Switch even as a threat to Arctic Blast's team. Arctic Blast should be wary of that. At least I hope, yeah. However, there's a possibility that Arctic Blast can just double protect right here, right now, to stall out the last Trick Room turn. Arctic Blast could also elect to send in Tornadus and taunt the Cresselia.
Ah, and there it is, yeah.
Yeah, Basculegion
Oh,
clicks
good Ice
Protect.
Beam raid, but...
Good Ice Beam. Knocks off the
Oh,
Tornadus, but it lives! That's crazy. That's not
just
allowed.
barely.
This Basculegion probably Swift Swim, and this Tornadus probably has Taunt for the Cresselia. All four moves on Cresselia revealed ally switch not in play. Does last respects kill this Rillaboom? That's what matters for
I would
this
say
turn.
almost certainly.
You would never know. Basculegion is not adaptability. I wouldn't. Well, personally, I don't know the damage ranges for this thing. When it's not adaptability, it could very well kill. It would depend on a bunch of things, really. Basically, the sets and investment.
Perhaps I'm overestimating it. Oops. Did not
Yeah.
mean to do that. Apologies.
I think Tornadus, well, I don't know. This is a tough turn because Arctic Blast, I don't know. I don't think Basculegion kills Rillaboom, which is why maybe Tornadus would need to Bleak Wind. Arctic Blast, probably caulking that right now. Cleavor sent onto the place of Rillaboom.
Oh,
Last
and there goes
respects
the
onto the
Cresselia.
Cresselia. He just went for it. Does Bleakwind even kill the Rillaboom? That's the question. I don't think it does. That was a really brazy maneuver from our hero, Arctic Blast. Well, I'm not taking sides, but I like to call him our hero because it's his birthday.
It's always Arctic Blast's birthday.
Double protect onto Arctic Blast's side. Landorus could substitute right now. Does it up substitute? It does not. Send Seer Storm. And this has been it. Since Tornadus can just click Tailwind, it can click Last Respects onto the Rillaboom, and
And
it
end the
should
game.
deal 1 million damage, and that is the game. Rain is completely busted, as Arctic Blast says. That is maybe debatable, but it does come out with the win in this matchup. Good games from both sides, and that has been a wrap for this
And
matchup.
congratulations to
Arctic Blast
Arctic.
2-1.
Happy birthday to Arctic. It's not his birthday, but happy birthday.
Yeah, yeah, happy birthday, Arctic Blast. Yeah. Grassy Glide not being in the game is so good. Wow, that was such a terrorist move.
hmm
I hate SS Rillaboom so much.
Yeah, it's really quite something. All right, thank you for joining me, and thank you to everybody
Yeah,
for watching.
thanks. Thanks for having me,
Goodbye.
man. GG's.
GG.